Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Shakina binti Rosman. Matric number 30 DLS 22F1008X. I want to present about export and import procedure. So, main topic 2 is export and import activity. The agency involved in handling export and import activity is Ministry of International Trade and Industry, MITI, Malaysian Investment Development Authority, MIDA, Malaysian Quarantine and Inspection Service, MAQIS, Royal Malaysian Custom Departments, and also conclusion, lastly, recommendations. First, the Ministry of International Trade and Industry, MITI. The Ministry of International Trade and Industry, abbreviated MITI, is a ministry of the government of Malaysia that responsible for international trade, industry, investment, productivity, small and medium enterprise development, finance institution, halal industry, automotive, steel, strategic trade. The ministry has its headquarters located at Menara MITI on Jalan Sultan Haji Ahmad Shah in Kuala Lumpur. Ministry of International Trade and Industry. This is interpret role of the agency. Example is Malaysia International Trade Development Corporate, MATRAD. Role MATRAD is responsible for promoting Malaysians export and helping Malaysian companies establish their presence in international markets. Function: organizing trade mission and exhibitions, providing market intelligence and export advisory service. And they also have Malaysian Industry Development Finance Berhad, MITIF, Halal Development Corporation, HDC. The rules and regulations pertaining to procedure for export and import activities. First, licensing requirements, custom procedure, export promotion, import control, Trade Description Act 2011, Strategic Trade Act 2010, Export Control Order 2020, Survey Tax Act 2018. Okay, let me explain about the rules and regulations pertaining to procedure for export and import activity. So, first is licensing requirements. MITI regulates certain export and import through licensing requirements. Exporter and importer may need to obtain specific licenses or permits for control items such as strategic goods and regulated products. Next, for the example, Trade Description Act 2011 regulates the labeling and packaging of goods to ensure they are correctly described and marketed. So next is MIDA, Malaysian Investment Development and Authority. The Malaysian Investment Development Authority, MIDA, is the government principal agency to oversee and drive investment into the manufacturing and service sector in Malaysia. MIDA was given the mandate to promote investment in the manufacturing and service sectors and to advise the Ministry of International Trade and Industry, MITI, of industry matters including formulation of related policies. The rules of the agency, Malaysian Investment Development Authority, MIDA. First, to promote foreign and domestic investment in the manufacturing and service sector. 2. To recommend policies and strategies of industrial promotion and development to the Minister of International Trade and Industry. 3. To evaluate application for manufacturing licenses and expatriate post-tax incentive for manufacturing activities, tourism, R&D, training institutions, and software development and raw material components and machinery. The rules and regulations pertaining to procedure and export and import activities. So the example in industrial licensing, import duty exemption, export incentive, regulatory compliance, also Custom Act 1967, Free Zone Act 1990, Industrial Coordination Act 1975, Income Tax Act 1967. So the explanation examples for export incentive. MIDA offer various incentives and grants to encourage export-oriented industry. This incentive can include tax incentive, grants for export promotion activities, and access the financing facility. So for the Act, I choose Income Tax Act 1967. While not specific to import and export, these acts govern the taxation of income in Malaysia, which may be relevant for business engaged in the international trade. So next, Malaysian Quarantine Inspection Service, MAQIS. The Department of Malaysian Quarantine Inspection Service was established under the Ministry of Agriculture and Agro-Based Industry Malaysia as a department to provide integrated service relating to quarantine inspections and enforcement at entry points, quarantine stations, premise quarantine, and certification for the import and export of plant, animals, carcasses, fish, agriculture produce, soils, and microorganisms, and include inspection of and enforcement relating to food and for matter related to do it. So the roles of the agency MAQIS. First is to enforce all written laws that are related to ensure that the plants, animal carcass, fish, agriculture produce, soils, microorganisms, and food that are imported into and exported out of Malaysia comply to the health and aspect of human, animals, plants, fish, and food safety. Second, to participate in the inspection and certification of premise of the exporting country. The rules and regulations pertaining to produce for export and import activity. Example is import and export permits, products registration, inspection and quarantine, sampling and testing. And for the Act, example is Plant Quarantine Act 1976, Act 179, Animal Act 1953, Revised 2006, Fishery Act 1985, Act 317, Control of Supplier Act 1961, Act 122. So the explanation export and export that permits that I choose is certain agriculture and food product require export and import permit from MAQIS. This permit ensure that the products meet the necessary safety and quality standards. For the acts that I choose is Fishery Act 1985, Act 317. So the explanation is regulate the import and export of fish and fish product to ensure their safety and quality. Next is Royal Malaysian Customs Department. The Royal Malaysian Customs Department (RMCD) is government department body under the Malaysian Ministry of Finance. RMCD function as the country's main indirect tax collector, facilitating trade and enforcing law. RMCD consists of several divisions, namely the Enforcement Divisions, the Inland Tax Divisions, the Compliance Divisions, the Custom Division, and the Technical Service Divisions. The roles of the agency Custom Department is first, collect national revenue in the form of tax and custom duties consisting of import duty, export duty, excise duty, sales tax, service tax, extraordinary profit levy, vehicle levy, diversion levy, non-tax revenue, state revenue, and trust money authorization tax. So the rules and regulations pertaining to procedure, export and import activities is Custom Prohibition of Import Order 2017, Custom Prohibition of Export Order 2012, Custom Value Imported Goods Order 2017, Custom Provisional Duty over 2012. So the example that I can explain is first is Custom Provision of Import Order 2017. This order prohibits the importation of certain goods into Malaysia such as weapons, drugs, and counterfeit goods. So last but not least, conclusion. Export-import activity are crucial components of global trade, facilitating the exchange of goods and services across international borders. These activities are governed by a comprehensive set of rules and regulations designed to ensure a legal compliance, safeguard national and economic interests, and promote ethical issue and secure trade practices. Successful export and import prohibition require a true understanding of the regulatory landscape, meticulous preparations, and ongoing compliance with both national and international laws. By adhering to these rules and regulations, business can effectively engage in global trade, contributing to economic growth and development. So lastly, the recommendations to export and import procedure is first, documentation. Maintain accurate and complete documentations for all export and import transactions to facilitate smooth custom clearance. Next, risk management. Implement risk management strategy to mitigate potential risks associated with international trade, such as currency fluctuation and geopolitical uncertainties. So that's all. Thank you.